What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about 10 different altcoins today. We'll be going over Arbitrum, ARB for James Thomas, FLUX for I don't give no flux, for Disney is greedy, AURORA for unlawful, COREUM for BL Spiegel, and XAVA for the Bullhorn. We'll also be talking about BONK for Mohammed El Mensi, Tectum for Priya Cotterell, DGB, ETN, and Wink for Akavan. Without any further ado, let's get into this. All right, so looking at ARB, I'm going to go over these pretty swiftly because you guys know how it is, man. It gets out of hand with these requests sometimes, but we're gonna move through them and do some good analysis. So obviously here you have bearish divergence. A high here, a lower high here, high here, higher high. Man, I cannot talk. Off to a great start, but bearish divergence to form a top. Very high volume. You could make another run up before going down, but I do think you go down. When I say another run up, I don't really mean that you'd go above these highs, just more you might have a day that closes above these highs, and then you form some more bearish divergence, and then you move down. I do think you're seeing the extent of this move currently playing out. High to low here, right at your 1272. Very common to pull back to your 886. You could continue higher, but you're pretty overbought already. You know, you're at your like 85, 86 area. On the daily, you went all the way up. Yeah, same thing kind of. But this bearish divergence is no joke in my opinion. Though, yeah. Let's see. Let's look at the 4-hour. The 4-hour is resilient, definitely resilient. Again, leading to that idea that you probably do see one more move up here, but I would assume that you're getting ready to move down, personally speaking. Yeah, you've got some severe bearish divergence here on your 4-hour, which has already played out, to be completely fair. I don't know, man. I would think that you've seen the top, but if not, Arbitrum might be one of those few altcoins that does continue to move higher. Maybe you do move up to like 252 and 26 or 269, somewhere up there around your overall 1414. And be damned with what I have to say about not going higher than here. But I do think you found a tweezer top right there at the 1272. I would think that at the most you might touch that again. If not, might have a day that closes just barely above here, get some double bearish divergence forming, and then really start this party to the downside. So a little bit of upside for now, and then some downside is what I'm thinking. Yeah. Very new chart on the weekly. It's really kind of there's not a lot to go off of as far as like what to say other than that 1272 extension. You know, where are you going to go whenever you pull back? You probably pull back all the way to $1.50. Here you are at $2.16. If not, at least back to around like $1.70 is what I would think. It's very uncommon to not see your 382 whenever you get these kind of pullbacks. But who knows, man? I mean, if this thing continues to climb, you know, maybe your pullback would be all the way back down here, but you could climb up to there. I don't know. I personally don't see that happening, but let's just see real quick, top to bottom here. I mean, that is at your 1618 right there. All the way up there at about $3.17. You could see that, but my automatic assumption would be that it's seen its high and it pulls back. Even if it doesn't, it will likely pull back eventually to prices that are lower than this. So whether it's a good time to sell or not, you know, that's not up to me. If you believe in this project, it's always best to kind of hold throughout the cycle, but I definitely don't think it's a good time to buy. So anyways, that's ARB. Probably goes up a little bit more, I would think, puts in a lower high, a higher closing high, gets some double bearish divergence, and then starts moving down to around $1.65. Let me see. Yeah, $1.65 sounds about right to me, man. If not, maybe you go down to about $1.50, but that's that is also pretty possible. But that's all I got for this thing. So moving on from there, we're moving on to FLUX USD. All right, looking at this, you're definitely in a downtrend. Well into, you know, where most altcoins and cryptos found their lows already for the cycle. You were still finding your lows here in August. That's not a good thing to be doing. You still have lower highs, lower lows. I think you are still in a downtrend. Your best hope right now is that you get some kind of bottom like this or some kind of higher low, but I do think that you are going lower nonetheless. You were overbought, finished it with bearish divergence, and you're coming down right now, lower highs. You're just a little bit reluctant to give back those gains as of right now, but it probably will happen. Bounce right off your 382, finding turbulence at your 236. I bet you come down to about 42 cents to 39.6 cents, somewhere in that area. If not lower, you absolutely could, with how you've been performing, you absolutely could go lower than this low and see prices all the way down here. I'm not calling for that personally. I think crypto's a little bit too bullish right now, but let's see what is this thing real quick. Do a little bit of a deeper dive. I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to look at coin market cap real quick, or coin gecko. Get that little gecko. Let's see. Flux. Yeah, I think it could. It could see prices down there. I wonder if there's something with more data. There we go. Maybe not. Maybe not. That does look like a nice low. Okay, there we go. A little bit more data might help, you know. But you still are in a downtrend, so don't throw that out completely yet. Oh, bounced off the 618. Nice. Rejected the 382. Found support on the 0.5. That actually is a really productive structure. Generally, with this look, I would think that you're actually getting ready to move higher. But you're still in a downtrend, man. I think you need to form a higher low first, and then we can talk about you going higher, if not at least like a double bottom. So at least that throws out the possibility, or like the likelihood of you going lower than this. I do have hopes that you could find some kind of double bottom or a higher low, but regardless, I do think that you're going to pull back from here, and you're probably going to go to, yeah, something like 41.7 to 38, 39 cents, somewhere around there. If not even down to about 35 or 32 cents, that's possible as well, but lower nonetheless is what I'm thinking. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, yep, I think so. I think so. You had a little flat range here, found support, and then you finally broke through. Back testing it now. Previous support becomes resistance. Down you go. Yeah, that's my thoughts. 4 hour doesn't look half bad, gotta say. Let's see what this week does, but I'm not optimistic. But this week, by the end of this week, I could be proven wrong on that, but I do think it's going to go lower. Next, we're talking about Aurora. Aurora, what a nice name. Let's see. Coinbase, crypto, yeah, we'll use Coinbase. Decent spike in volume here at the top. Not really showing any regards for the 382 or the 236 in my opinion. Probably goes lower. You probably see it around 11 or 13 cents. You're at 28 cents now, though it could go even lower than that. I like that 13 cent area, because it's kind of like right in line with this low here. Maybe you wick down to here and then you close where this low is, something like that. I bet you do find support in this 16 to 13 cent zone, but probably lower nonetheless. Here you are, overbought, got out of your overbought, so that's a hell of a wick right there. Yeah, daily RSI, I mean, kind of neutral to be fair. Bouncing off the 50, not a bad look. I don't know if much will come from it though. 4 hour looks like it wants to roll over. Yeah, I think down. Probably between 13 to 16 cents, with the possibility of going to 11 cents. That's Aurora. Now we're going to COREUM. COREUM. Mexi, probably. Overbought, out of the overbought zone. Nice little move up. Very bullish. Come on now. I gotta, there we go. Yeah, you probably go lower as well. Pretty easy. You might hold that 18 cent zone. You really might. Previous area of support here. You could come all the way back down to 12 to 11 cents. That is possible as well. I mean, technically you are in a downtrend. You could even go lower, but there's not enough historical data. It's kind of hard to do on charts like this where there's not a lot of historical data. The daily looks pretty neutral. You're getting pretty neutral price action, but rejecting this 236 this many times. You haven't hit the 382, which is just a bit unusual, which kind of makes me think maybe you are flagging out. But bull flags can break to the downside too. You know, absolutely they can. And maybe it does go like this. Maybe it bounces here. Maybe it bounces just a little bit lower. You get like a little fake out look to the downside. Really, you're finding support on your 382 and then you move up. It's hard to say. It's actually not that easy, this one. I would say anywhere, it's a big range, but anywhere from 11 to 18 cents is where I'm thinking you go. I would think you go below 18 cents and probably closer to 11 to like 12.5 cent area. You do have the possibility of going even lower now. The main reason I'm not thinking of that as a possibility, though you are in a solid downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, I would think that the only reason why you don't see that is because crypto's pretty bullish, like not right now in the immediate term time frames, but overall, I just don't see, you know, bounce off the 1414, nice. I would think a little bit lower. If you don't find support at 18 cents, which I'm not really hopeful that you will, I would think that you see prices down at around 11 to 12.5 cents, somewhere in that zone. Yeah. Yep. That is COREUM. Probably lower for now, though. As I get to this like daily in the 4 hour, it's kind of not as easy to kind of read here, honestly. Very neutral price action. It's hard to tell things, you know, whenever you get neutral price action sometimes. And to be fair, this is a bullish pattern. My bias is just to the downside given the overall state of crypto right now. Though to be fair, I guess, you know, Bitcoin has taken its dump recently and this thing has held up pretty well. Hard to say. It is really hard to say because this is a bullish pattern. But you moved up with decreasing volume. I'm going to say you give it back to some relevant area of support, which again around 11 to 12.5 cents. That's COREUM. That's my final answer. All right, XAVA for Mr. the Bullhorn. We'll talk about it on KuCoin, sure. Let's look at this on a weekly. Avalanche, not avalanche, it's avalanche. That's a nice bottom, man. That is a classic Adam and Eve. It's a very strange, it's like a tilted Adam and Eve, but it is an Adam and Eve. You can see the Eve here softer. You can see the Adam here. It's almost like an Adam and Adam actually with how explosive that move was there. Let's see what you got on your measured move. You didn't hit it. That's okay though. I mean, you might not technically be done though. The breakout move would take you there, so I'm going to assume that you did fail to meet your measure move. But that's not a bad thing. I mean, it happens. Not all measure moves are meant to be hit. You know, I mean, I guess they're meant to be hit, but they don't always get hit. Tipped your 1618, perfect golden extension. Had like a triple top at it actually. Yeah, you were overbought. You're still overbought a little bit, man. This thing is resilient, I will say. Holding that 1272. I think you want to go lower. I do. You probably go to 60 cents. You're at $1.36 right now, but I bet you go to 60 cents. You've got your 886 down there. I'll put a line here and just show you so that it's easier to see. Not only is that your 886, but you have resistance, support, pretty significant area. Back where you broke out, back test the area that you broke out from, and then continue upwards. That's very, very common. And in fact, I wonder if we take this here, low to high, 382. It's in between the 382 and 0.5. That's a very common area to bottom out. Yeah, especially for something like this. It's probably a low cap coin. Going below your 382, finding support there. I bet you find support right around 60 cents, man. That's probably where you're going. Yeah. Yep, I think so. Decreasing volume as you're consolidating. As this volume gets like low and very low, I mean, you're basically there now. You're below average volume. You're going to see the breakout. Whether it's to the downside or the upside remains to be seen, but I am in favor of thinking it's going to be to the downside. So that's Avalanche, probably to around 60 cents. And I know, Bullhorn, that you requested Avalanche and AVAX together, but I'm going to make AVAX in its own video because it's more of a top tier coin. And I feel like that's just better. If you want to watch like the low cap coins, I want to make a video for that. I also want to make like a high cap or a top tier video for these requests too, because I get enough requests where I can do that. These aren't all. I got 10 coins we're talking about right now, guys, but that's not all the coins that have been requested today. There's definitely a lot more than that. But moving on, we're going to be talking about BONK now. I need to pull up Dex Screener here for a little bit of other stuff. Let's see. BONK. Bonk a donk donk. 2.5 million. Zero 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 1378. Very massive run up. You're not even below your 236. I very much do believe you have a lot lower to go. Yes, you had a bullish engulfing candle here, but guess what? You have seen bullish engulfing candles before that resulted in bupkis. You've seen them again resulting in the same thing. You know, even here, right, didn't produce much. So I'm not too swayed by that. That's a decent bit of volume, not gonna lie. Kind of a double top in your RSI. You were really hot. Now you're out of the overbought zone. I think you want to go lower, man. Yeah. Let's see. I wonder what you're doing on your relative fibs here. Finding resistance at your 382. That's not a good look, man. I mean, that is a good look for the bears. It's probably going to go lower. That's my genuine assumption. Yeah. Your next more or less immediate stop will probably be somewhere in the 5091 to 5078 zone. But all in all, I think you are going lower than that. I know. I've got a lot of fibs on here. Okay, hold on. Just bear with me. I'm getting a phone call. 1 second. Some scam, some kind of scam or something, trying to get my money, of course. 1272, that was very unprofessional. I've never done that before, but man. 1414 at the 236 here. You probably do find support around the 5008, 5085, 5086 to 5085, and you probably do continue lower. I don't think this thing's going to stop. I don't think you found your low until you see at least 503827. You have a very solid possibility of going all the way back down to your 618. I know that's not what a lot of people want to hear, because bonk go up. I just want bonk to go up, man, but odds are you at least see this. And it's very common with stuff like this to go all the way back to its 618 too, so don't throw that out of the equation. You moved up pretty unchecked. You can go back down pretty unchecked, right? They call that a pump and dump, right? That's just how it is, but I would expect that you do see some support here. There's solid hope to find support in this area around 5038, but I don't think it's going to be a straight line down, personally. It could be, but I don't think it will be. But that's bonk. Lower to go, nonetheless, especially I think in the immediate term. I do think it continues to move lower. Yeah. Anyways, that is bonk. Let's move on to Tectum. Tet. We'll do Mex C. By the way, I haven't been giving shout-outs, have I? Have I been giving shout-outs? Did I forget if I did. I think I did. I think I did. But this one's for Priya Cotterell. Last one was for Muhammad El Mensi. I think I did give shout-outs. Sorry, guys. I'm all thrown off. That phone call got me. Top to bottom here. 1414 resistance. Found support on your 618 after breaking above it. That's a very nice move. Not going to lie. It's actually a very nice move. Good job. Probably pull back. You probably come back to about 14. Man, that's a big drop. I don't know. Holy. It's not uncommon, though. Seeing your extensions pulling back to your 886, finding support there. You know, you got resistance here. You've got resistance there. Like, it's a pretty significant area, in my opinion. Right there around 14.5 cents. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Let's see if anything else agrees with that. Good opportunity to buy, you know, if it goes down there. 16 cents, and it's very common, again, to go a little bit below that 382. And what's a little bit below it? Right here, this previous area of resistance, which is right there around 14.5 cents. Yeah, I think it makes sense to me, man. I do. Overbought right now, though. Rolling over. You're hanging on a cliff, man. You're probably going to break down, though. I think you do. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, looking like it wants to. It's reluctant to give it up. You've been doing so good for so long. It's okay. You're going to have to let go eventually. It's going to go down. It'll probably be swift. Whenever this does break, it'll probably be swift down to at least $25 to $18, somewhere in that range. And then you're probably going to make your way down to about $14.50 is what I'm thinking. So that's Tectum. And then maybe up, man. It looks pretty good. That's a very positive reaction you had there. I really like that bounce off the 618 all the way up to your 1414. It's a very beautiful maneuver. A lot of crypto has been liking their 1414s lately, I've been noticing. I don't know if you guys have, but if you use fibs, you've probably noticed it. You know, it happens. It definitely does happen. DGB, maybe not that. That looks a bit strange. We'll just use it on crypto, sure. There we go. So I actually have high hopes for DGB. It's an OG coin. You're in a pretty solid phase of accumulation right now. I think there's more data than that, isn't there? I know Bittrex has it, but Bittrex is dead. They don't exist anymore. There's got to be something else. KuCoin? Man, why can't I find an exchange with a lot of historical data for this thing? That's okay. Whatever. We'll just use Binance. Yeah, I really do like this accumulation phase after coming down so hard there. You know, if we look at it real quick, I know I said I was going to use Binance, but let's use Bittrex real quick just to show you. You know, it's been around for quite a while, and technically speaking, you do have higher highs cycle to cycle and higher lows cycle to cycle. That's not a bad thing. That's actually a pretty unusual thing in the space of crypto, especially for multiple cycles. Like this thing's been around since 2014, man, 2013. I don't know. It's been around for a while. We don't have all the historical data, but that's okay. Looking at this now, double top off the overbought zone, potentially bouncing off your 50. Let's see what you're doing relatively speaking. You probably go lower. You probably go to about 0.0073 to 0.007, somewhere in that area is what I'm thinking. Here you are at 0.0843 right now. But you're still in this accumulation phase. But when it comes time to break out of it, which I think you are getting ready, this is an Adam and Eve right here, right? You got your V, you got your U here. That is an Adam and Eve pattern. Yeah, the daily looks like it wants to go lower for sure. When you do break, you could see a very phenomenal reaction with this thing. Absolutely, you could. Top to bottom. Oh, man. I like it. I do like it. That 0.0074 area is looking nice, man. But you could go to around 0.007. That is possible. Oh man, I don't know. It looks really good. But when it does break out, you're going to see a move that takes you up to like 2.2 cents, potentially all the way up here to like 5 cents, 6 cents. And then, I mean, if we were to see new all-time highs by the end of this cycle, you could see 47 cents, man. Let's see, what is DGB? DGB. 141 million. Come on now. A 10x would be 1.41 billion. So times 5.5 on that would be 10 billion, right? No, it'd be like maybe 8 billion, something like that. I don't know. I'm doing rough math in my head, guys, but it would be below 10 billion, but above 7 billion. Probably around 8 billion, I would think. Maybe 9 billion. I don't know. I did rough math there. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it now, because I gotta know. Google calculator. 141 times 55.5. Or I was doing times 55 technically in my head. 7.75, so close to 8 billion, right? That's okay. That was my first answer. But and just doing rough math real quick. I pride myself on my ability to do math, man. But that's neither here nor there. And it was close, but it wasn't accurate. But anyways, that is possible, because that's still a pretty achievable market cap, especially for something like this, man. And that's a pretty solid gain, like 55x from the current price, let alone if it drops a little bit. This thing could do 100x, even a multi 100x. You got the 1618 all the way up here. I don't know. I like this phase of accumulation. I really do. But again, going back to what DGB has done with its existence, it has seen new highs cycle to cycle. But the last cycle we had was a slightly higher high, right? Cycle before that dramatically higher, sure, but you know, if we see a slightly higher high, then that won't be a 50x. Maybe it's like a 20x or something like that. But still, pretty decent gains. This thing could do great things, man. It could go like all the way up. Like it could go up pretty high. I mean, that'd take you all the way to $1.55. 100x would be 14 billion. 1000x would be 141 billion. So I don't know if you do that, but 100x is 14. If you saw 500x, it's like 70 billion. I mean, this thing could do, it could see prices, it could see phenomenal prices, man. Only reason I'm giving it that opportunity is because it is an OG coin, and it's held up very well compared to what a lot of cryptos do, especially with this amount of time, man. But I feel like it's become irrelevant. That's why I really don't think that that's going to happen. But the door is open for that, absolutely. The door is open for any of these extensions to happen. The door is also open to see a slightly higher high, but I would think that it does see new highs. Again, at least like a 20 to 25x, if not probably more like a 50x or more. But we'll see. You know, those are the kind of top predictions. Just because I say that doesn't mean it has to happen. That's just, you know, being candid here. Though I do think it goes down in the meantime, probably around 7 to 7.5. Sorry, 007 to 0075, somewhere in that area. Yeah. Maybe a little lower than this low, but above these lows here. That's what I'm thinking. So that's DGB. Moving on to ETN, which, that's Electronium, right? Electronium! There's a song. They made a song about it. I remember, man. I held Electronium way back in the day. The coin's actually way older than this. Does it? It doesn't have, we don't have anything else on here. I wonder if we've got it on Dex Screener. Let's see. I don't know. Is this it? Doesn't look like Electronium. Unfortunately, the only thing we have is on CoinEx here, but this thing goes back to like 2018. It's an old coin as well, and it is worth 0.002. Okay, so I probably have like what was once upon a time multiple thousands of dollars is probably now worth like less than $800 in there, but hey, that's okay. I think I had like 5 or 8 grand in this thing at one point back in the early days, man, and it sounded nice. I got behind it, but it just, like most coins, man, it can have a good community, it can have a good idea, it can have the right people even working behind it, but if it fizzles out, it fizzles out. Can't believe it's still around. I don't have high hopes for this thing at all, man. I would abandon it. Probably goes lower. I bet you do see a high. It always sees some kind of resurgence in the midst of the bull markets. I doubt that you see these extensions. In fact, I bet you get a lower high. Let's actually look at this thing on CoinGecko real quick if it has all the history here. Let's see, max and log. We're gonna log it. Yeah, 2017. Look at that. Lower highs galore throughout the whole thing. Yeah. Yep. Probably that's not what I meant to do. Go back to a year, then go to max. We're in log. Yeah. So I doubt, if you get above 2 cents, that's like the height of it. I doubt that you go too much above that, but getting above 1 cent even is going to be an accomplishment for this thing. And here you are at 0.269 of a cent. So yes, I do believe it does go up. This 61869 area is right there around 1.2 cents to 1 cent in itself. You could go all the way up to like 1.6 cents or even again around 2.2 cents, but After that, probably down. I wouldn't put too much into this thing. I think it's a forgotten ship, man. It really is. But that's okay. That's okay. That's how they go sometimes. So that's Electronium. Probably does go up, over the cycle. In the more immediate terms, don't be surprised if it goes down. It's very boring for most of its life, man. I mean, if it goes down, probably not by much. It'll be like a slow bleed if it does, and then it'll have a random pop for no reason. So that's Electronium. Wink. I don't think that's it. There's Win. Akaban. Wink, Link. Win, K, Link. I don't know, man. You said Wink, so I'm not going to do Win. Wink here is on the London Stock Exchange. I don't think that's what you want me to do. I don't think that's what you want me to do. I don't know what to do with that. So with that, guys, we're going to end it. The loser of this video is Wink because we don't know anything about it. The winner, if there was a winner, I don't know. I kind of like Tectum, man, but they're all probably going to go down, to be completely fair. But Tectum was the one out of all of them that kind of interested me. I know ARB is also kind of interesting, but I don't know. That one goes to Priya Cotterell, and the loser definitely goes to Wink, Mr. Akaban, because I don't know. We don't have a chart for it. So that's that. If you guys like the video, hit that like button, subscribe to see more. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.